Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. It's Monday, it's January 22nd. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and I'm much better. Still got a little bit of a scratchy throat, but I'm pretty much back to normal otherwise. So hopefully I don't sound like Barry White today. But a very nice uptrend today. When I came in, we were already headed up, but you know, it was obvious we were when we headed up through here that this was just too steep. So you figure we're going to get a correction at some point and level out to a more healthy 45 degree. And I think we actually went even, yeah, we even broke a little bit above this two-tiered channel. And the way I found this was found this trend line here, and then it fit right across here. I really thought it was going to be a lower channel, but it turns out when we went higher, you just get an equal distance, and you see it kind of fits in here, not well, but when you turn down right off that, then you know you probably got it right. And notice we turned down again there late in the afternoon. And we did end up going even higher than that, but this has been a strong market. Um, Even though there's some nice chances for some shorts in here, when you got a trend working up like this steep, you don't want to short that. Just wait till you get a chance to go long. You got to be patient. You got to be a little bit patient through here from about 9 o'clock to maybe about 10 before you really got some entry opportunities. Um, so just remember that when you get this far away from the EMA, you're probably coming back, but you still really don't want to risk it. So I just think you want to wait till you find your flatter trend line, and usually you'll find it off a couple of these swings. It may take a little bit of time, and it kind of did today. Um, it took a little time to find it. I tried the first few here and then tried these two, and when it bounced right here, you figure you probably got it right. Especially when you copy that and drag it up and it fits right off of these highs right here. You might assume that you've got a midline, but you just don't know until it tries to go higher. So once you bounce here, you want to draw that line an equal distance and see what you get. And of course it does. It turns down right off of it. So you don't know exactly about where to exit on this thing. And you got a shorter term trends in here. You use those as well. And that kind of helps keep you on the right side. So let's talk about the trades and we'll get through today. But first trade I saw, you had to be a little patient this morning. It's tempting to enter here, and there's actually some arguments to be made for entering right here. Notice you got really a double bottom here. So you get a first entry, and really your second entry is there, but this is still really part of all that move. So you might treat this like a failed second entry short. Honestly, you've got two legs up now, and this is not a really strong trend at this point. So I think you're better off to wait. And when it pushes up and it gives you a little turn down and turns and goes back up, I like going long. You got plenty of room to get out. You get another chance here where it really makes a failed second entry short, but you got a perfect double top right there. And you got to be a little careful going long into that, but if the way this market's been, it wouldn't surprise me if it goes higher from there, but it's always a risk. So even though it's a failed second entry short and probably going to trap some shorts, I would probably wait on a breakout pullback long, which comes here. And when it turns down and fails again and goes right off, that's a breakout pullback long. And I like entering there. It does come back and gives you another chance, but when this one didn't take right off, I don't think I'm going to risk entering again. Doesn't matter in the end, it just takes off. It actually comes back again here and gives you this and sets up this shorter term trend. And if you draw this off these highs here, it fits pretty well. But again, I don't think you want to risk that right there. And you really just don't get another chance to enter. So it just keeps climbing higher and higher. But if you had a little more confirmation on this shorter term trend line here, I'd say maybe. But you really don't ever get another chance until there's a second entry here. Not a very good signal bar. And by the time anything else sets up, we're just going sideways. And like I said, I wouldn't short this market. We're coming off the high, so you would expect it to come back to here. But I just don't think it's worth risking trying to jump in there and get short. There is a break of this two-tiered channel here. This is actually just a little bit higher here. Somehow I got it moved there. But that's in the overnight, and a lot of times you can just ignore those breaks during the overnight. Um, so I wouldn't count this as a break of that yet. I'd want one up here, and then even then you're probably going to get a flatter one because we just went through 2800, and you can see we're already at 2830. Actually got up to 28, almost close to 2840 today. So this market just keeps going. Don't bet against it to the downside. Obviously, if you get a confirmed trend and it's not a strong trend day, you might, because you're going to get some good sell-offs, even in an uptrend, strong upward trending market, you're still going to get some sell-offs. So when you get one of those days, take advantage of it. But this is not one of those days when you're taking off like this. So I would want a very strong and confirmed trend to the downside before I'm going to think about getting short. Um, but notice we start going sideways and you get this failed break lower. I like this one just simply because it is a failed break lower and a strong uptrend, and that's really the first break after the open. So you're probably going to make an attempt at a new high. This is good for a scalp, but it just keeps kind of going sideways. You do get a failed break higher right there, and you're not back down to what might be your next trend line. You're just kind of guessing really at this point. But you might go short there. There's room to get out, so you might consider a short there. But again, I think you're better off to skip that and just look for longs. And it does start down again. You really, this is only about 2 ticks, but we're not that. Or actually, it's 3 ticks, but we're not that far away from the EMA. And this is sideways, so you could consider this. I probably should make it green. But I think you want to wait on a higher low, and look how it pushes straight through the EMA, pulls back, tests it, gives you a nice bullish bar. That's where you want to get long. Again, it takes it a minute, but you can see that trend line working up there. It's still holding. Everything's still closing inside of it. And then you get a breakout pullback long after this. We break to a new high, plus you get a third confirmation of that trend line. Actually, you get, it's more than a third because we tested it multiple times there, but that's really the third time we pull away from it and come back to it. And plus it's a breakout pullback long. So I like, in that nice bullish bar, I like going long right there. It does come back again and test it, but now you're just kind of going sideways. So I don't think you want to risk it. Plus you've had a break of this original channel and you got a new high in place. So you never know what's going to happen from there. But anyway, so I don't think you want to enter any more up here until you get another correction. And definitely you want to have that trend line drawn off those swings there now. And you're looking for this to come back to that trend line. And of course it does. And you got to close outside here of this little short-term trend line right here, move to a new low, and it bounces right off that trend line. I like going long right there. And so now where do you expect it to go? Back to the upper side. And off it goes. And you can get another short-term trend line in here. You can see that working up through there. And if you copy that and move it over. But if you entered here, I would look to exit up here at the upper side. And it actually ends up going higher, but I would still probably exit up here because most of the time you're not going to get that overshoot. This would be a good target. If you start trying to get greedy, you'll cost yourself more money. But that would have been my target. I would have exited right in front of that most likely. So there's not a lot of entries today, but just about every one of these really good entries had a runner. And there's a couple of different ways you could look for measured moves. I would measure this first big move up here before we got this correction. That's going to be a little aggressive, but you can see we got real close to it. You would think that'd be really, really aggressive, but we only missed that by maybe 3-4 ticks, a point at the most. So that would be one way I would be looking for a target. I would also measure this leg and look from here, and that would have given you this same target right in here back to the upper side, and that would have been another reason I would like exiting right there. But you can see we were actually shooting for the first leg target, and we got really close to it. So that's a couple of different ways I would look for my targets. And it was a pretty good day. And really, once you notice that we're going higher like this, any good opportunity to enter off a key entry point, which would include these short-term trend lines, you could argue for them. I mean, you could make a bunch of green ones in here, probably here, maybe one of these. If this wasn't after 2 o'clock, there would have been some other entries right in here. So, but yeah, it was a nice trading day, and this market just continues to go higher and higher. So be careful betting against it. And when you get these really strong trends that just keep going higher and higher like this, you're not going to get a lot of perfect setups. So if it fits the rules, you probably want to take it. Especially if it's off a key entry point. If it's a proven key entry point, I'm probably going to take it. So you had to just be patient right here until it came back. But notice what happened. If you entered there, it was off to the races again. And like I said, you could have probably gotten short in here or in here. But I've been more apt to go short here than down here, because at this point you haven't really proven this channel yet. But by this time, this channel is, you've proven it off both sides. And so when it bounces, when it's heading back here, you probably figured it's heading here, although sometimes it will bounce off the midline and keep going. So you got to be real careful. At this point, we didn't have a new low in. I could see some people probably, you could argue for that being a failed second entry short. But if you went long there, you got burned. But the thing you got to remember is we just came off the high. So where are we probably headed? Down to the low. So don't let stuff like that fool you. You might miss a trade. It might have taken off there and gone on higher, but the odds tell you that we're coming back to the other side of the channel. And so be careful trying to get long in the mid. The mid lines are always the dangerous places. And getting long here on the way up, unless you've got a failed second entry short or some kind of trap or multiple bounces off the trend line, again, you got to be careful. Because it could turn down off that midline. It's always a lot more suspect off the middle, in the middle versus off the lows or the highs. And that's where the key places are, this trend line. But doesn't mean you won't get some longs and shorts off those mid areas, but you got to really know what you're doing, and you got to really be reading it properly. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, again, a nice trading day, and my voice is, now that I'm talking a bunch, my voice is starting to bother me again. My throat is. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Not much else we can say about today. It's just another strong trend day to the upside. Just remember that a good healthy trend is about a 45-degree angle like this. So when the morning starts off and you're shooting straight up and you're getting a long way away from the EMA, be prepared for a correction. And a lot of times that may just mean sideways action. Correction doesn't always mean a trend, a sell-off and a trend in the other direction. This is still a correction. We do end up going lower and making some lower highs and lower lows. But even if we just went sideways across here and then started up, that's still a correction. And so when you get this far away from the EMA and you've been going straight up for a while, you're going to get a little correction in there. And then it'll find support and it'll take off again. And that's what it did today. And it was really one leg up, a correction, and another leg up. And there's multiple legs within those legs. And that's the reason price action works on any level, because there's trends within trends, there's ranges within channels. You got a two-tiered channel, but you got a shorter term channel, you got a range within that channel. And then you got a flatter channel here, and you got a short-term one there, short-term one there. There's some sideways stuff in here, both ways. So, and then if you went to even a daily chart, you would see these same things. So that's why price action works on any level, because there's always shorter term stuff and bigger picture stuff going on, and the rules work the same in every one of them, no matter which level. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. Hope you had a good trading day. We're off to another week here. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow, but I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.